You know what I will say about Shedeur? And I'll give him credit for it. Remember I told you Kevin Stefanski was unbothered? He was unbothered. This dude was out there talking to everybody he saw. The coach, the trainer. After every rep, he had his helmet off. He was by the coach. He was attentive. He was dapping everybody up. He was back there talking to every quarterback that came off the field. He had energy when he came out early. And think about this. He missed no throws. He gave every opportunity he got. He completed the pass. He was congratulatory to people. He was literally unbothered. He is in a great mental shape, and he is in a great mental place.
Hold up. How is a fifth-round pick with this much talent still not getting a single first-team snap in camp? Is the Cleveland Browns coaching staff seriously sleeping on Shedeur Sanders? Or is there something deeper going on here? Drop a comment right now. Do you think Shedeur is being set up to fail? Rumors are flying. Whispers are turning into heated debates. And the Browns quarterback room? It's more crowded and confusing than ever. But what's really got fans and critics talking is one glaring, controversial question. Why hasn't Shedeur Sanders taken a single snap with the first team? If you've been paying attention to Cleveland Browns training camp this week, one name keeps surfacing, not because of his playing time, but lack thereof. Despite coming in as one of the most high-profile rookies, Shedeur Sanders is stuck repping with the third and fourth teams. Let that sink in.
I don't never take anything as frustrating because I know everybody tries their best. So, like, even, throughout everything in college and everything, I was never frustrated ever at teammates, at everybody, because I know everybody's going out there doing their best. So, if you're doing your best and you tell me, you look me in the eye and tell me you're doing your best, I know I'm out here trying to do my best. I know I make mistakes. I know you make mistakes. So, it's like, why would I be mad? We all in similar situations, so that doesn't really frustrate me at all. It doesn't frustrate me. Being able to have an opportunity we have days on days on days and days, and just the relationships, and you could look at somebody in the eye and be like, my bad, bro. Like that's what it was. I'm like, all good, it's no problem. Because who knows how much time everybody has to spend together. It's about relationships overall. So I don't want any memories of me, being negative or being mad at any situation that happened.
Through 3 full days of practice and 13 sets of 11-on-11 drills, the breakdown tells a controversial story. Joe Flacco, 7 first-team sets. Kenny Pickett, 5. Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick, gets 1. And Shedeur Sanders, 0. That's right. The same Shedeur Sanders who carried a heavy media spotlight, who built a college legacy at Jackson State in Colorado, is now buried in Cleveland's depth chart behind a 39-year-old veteran and 2 quarterbacks who, let's be honest, aren't exactly lighting the world on fire. Now sure, Shedeur's saying all the right things in public. He's staying composed, polished, and professional, just like the leader his father, Coach Prime, raised him to be. But behind that calm exterior, you have to wonder, is frustration starting to bubble? Is there a deeper issue going on that the Browns don't want to talk about?
This quarterback competition is between 3 guys for the starting position. It's Joe Flacco, it's Kenny Pickett, and it's Dillon Gabriel. It is not Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders was a complete afterthought for the Browns in the draft. They passed on him 6 times. They took Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd, identified Gabriel as the guy they wanted to bring into their offensive system and develop. Shedeur Sanders just happened to be there in the 5th round. The Browns were perfectly fine with any other team taking him. It just got to a point where the value was too good for them to pass up, and their analytics said, you better just go ahead and get this guy. He's a quarterback. He's got first-round pedigree, blah, blah, blah. So they drafted him. But make no mistake, Shedeur Sanders is the last guy on the quarterback depth chart for the Browns. That's not me saying that's how I feel like it should be. That's not me saying I think they're doing the right thing or the wrong. I'm just saying you need to understand Shedeur Sanders is not a priority for the Browns right now in training camp. They're trying to figure out who's going to be the week 1 starter, how this quarterback depth chart is going to shake out, and that competition, like I have said multiple times here, is between Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dillon Gabriel. There aren't enough receivers. There aren't enough players. There isn't enough time to run a 4 quarterback rotation evenly or even remotely equally during training camp. Shedeur Sanders is throwing to equipment managers and things like that. It is not going to happen unless something just crazy happens during training camp or they trade one of Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett. I don't see how this quarterback rotation depth chart changes during the rest of the summer.
Now, Shedeur is taking the high road in his comments to the media. He said on Friday, "It doesn't make me feel down or it doesn't make me feel left out or anything because I know who I am as a person. I know who I am as an individual, and I know what I could bring to this team." On the surface, that's the answer of a mature, level-headed competitor. But read between the lines, and it sounds like a player who knows he's being held back, someone biting his tongue while trusting that his time will come. If you're Shedeur Sanders, you've got to be wondering, what more do I need to do to get a real shot?
Apparently, Kenny Pickett yesterday threw quite possibly the worst pass in the history of Browns training camp. Shedeur Sanders apparently is throwing not to receivers, but to equipment guys. They've got equipment guys like Jug snapping him the ball and then also running the routes. I don't know. Mahomes is throwing to Kelsey. Shedeur is throwing to equipment guys. Okay. Dillon Gabriel looks like the best quarterback in camp. Joe Flacco looks old. I don't know, 4 for 10 yesterday. But, Chris, I'm starting to think that once the season starts, we're actually going to utter the name Dillon Gabriel more than we will the name Shedeur Sanders.
Ironically, when he did get his first taste of second-team action on Friday, Sanders made one of the best throws of the entire 80-minute session. A dart down the middle to tight end Blake Whiteheart during full 11-on-11 drills. He showed poise, accuracy, and touch. Exactly what you'd want to see from a young quarterback making the most of limited opportunities. And that's the key. Sanders knows he doesn't have the reps others do, but he also knows that when the door opens even slightly, he has to burst through it. To his credit, Shedeur has been the first to admit that there's still work to be done. After a rough red zone drill on Thursday, where he couldn't even get a throw off due to snap issues, a false start, and what would have been a sack, he didn't make excuses. Instead, he owned it and focused on getting better. "I know whenever I get my opportunity, I've got to maximize it," he said. "I just got to think about what I could do to get better even if I'm not getting reps." That's a mindset that should be applauded. But still, it doesn't explain why the Browns seem so reluctant to give him a real shot at the top of the depth chart. Head coach Kevin Stefanski was asked whether Sanders would get any first-team reps, and he gave what some are calling a politically correct dodge. "Yeah, I think Shedeur does a nice job of keeping the main thing. The main thing. He's working hard and keeping his head down." In other words, no answer, no commitment, no real indication that Sanders will get the same chance to compete as Flacco, Pickett, or even Gabriel. And that's where this becomes controversial. If this is supposed to be an open quarterback battle, why is the rookie with the most upside not being allowed into the ring? Even if the Browns are simply slow playing their rookie quarterback, it's hard to ignore the optics. Shedeur isn't just another backup trying to cling to a roster spot. He's a high-profile, high-upside player who brings star power and leadership to a city craving relevance. He's already shown maturity off the field, too. Sanders recently hosted a community event to support residents displaced by a fire in Cleveland. He also took full responsibility for a pair of speeding tickets last month, owning his mistake instead of deflecting blame. In every area, from public image to locker room demeanor, he's behaving like the face of a franchise. And yet, he's not being treated like one. Sanders himself has tried to find the silver lining, saying the lack of immediate reps has actually helped him slow down and truly learn the offense in a way he didn't have time for at Jackson State or Colorado. "It's always consistent growth," he said. "It always feels like I just solved a puzzle or anything, like all the time." That kind of intellectual curiosity and approach to the game should be encouraged. Quarterback coach Bill Musgrave even praised Sanders for how well he's learning to call plays in the huddle and operate under center, an essential skill for young NFL quarterbacks. Still, even with all the praise for his progress, it seems like the coaching staff is reluctant to reward him with meaningful reps. Musgrave tried to minimize the outside pressure and expectations, saying, "The focus has got to be on the techniques, the 5-step drop, the 7-step drop, being accurate with our throws. If we can focus on our trade, the external factors take a back seat." But that's easier said than done when you're Shedeur Sanders. This isn't just any rookie trying to break through. This is the son of Deion Primetime Sanders, a national media figure and a player whose every move is scrutinized more than most. The attention is unavoidable, and the expectations are sky high. The issue now is not whether Shedeur can play. It's whether the Browns are ever going to give him a chance to prove it. With the September 7 season opener against the Bengals inching closer, time is running out for Sanders to make his case. And let's be honest, if Flacco or Pickett struggle early in the season, fans are going to be calling for Shedeur by week 3, if not sooner. But by then, will he be ready? Or will Cleveland have kept him in the shadows too long? Shedeur is patient, yes, but he's also confident. He knows he belongs. And if the Browns don't figure that out soon, they risk letting a future franchise leader slip through their fingers. Not because of lack of talent, but because of poor decision-making and cautious coaching. So, again, we ask you, is Shedeur Sanders being unfairly buried in Cleveland? Or is this just how the NFL operates with rookie QBs? Let us know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you think Shedeur deserves more first-team action. Subscribe for more updates on the Browns QB controversy, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next twist in this quarterback saga. Something is brewing in Cleveland, and whether you believe in Shedeur or not, one thing is clear. This controversy is just getting started.